So tonight I'm gonna make a quick piece of salmon. I'm gonna start it on the stove and finish it in the oven. I love salmon. It's a great, healthy, fatty fish for you. Not everyone in my household likes it, but sometimes I'll make myself some salmon and make halibut for them. And tonight I'm just gonna make this nice, beautiful piece of, I believe this is a king salmon, I'm not quite sure, but I always buy the wild caught because it's so much healthier for you. And really quickly, I'm gonna also make a sauce that Jeremy had created, and we change it up a little bit every time. We can use it on lobster, we use it on soft shell crab, we use it on fish. We just, we change the ingredients as we go. So today I used what I found in my refrigerator, which I do quite often. I also make, Sunday soup with everything that's left over, and we love that. But I'm gonna start first by seasoning this piece of salmon. And I change up the seasonings all the time, and today I'm just gonna use this Paul Prudhomme's Magic Salmon Seasoning. It's pretty good. It has like sugar, salt, onion, garlic, mustard seeds, paprika. So I'm gonna put that on generously all over this piece of fish. And I'm also going to add a little bit of my pepper, and I really cook with the Lowry seasoned pepper all the time because I love it so much. It just has such great flavor, and I think black pepper is just very boring, to be honest with you. And then I also grind my own salt, so I'm gonna add a little bit more salt to it. And what I like to use is this Celtic sea salt. I just buy it on Amazon, and then I grind it in my mortar and pestle, and it's really good for you. Actually, it's better for you than Himalayan. I've had the Himalayan tested with my naturopathic doctor, and this one's full of vitamins and minerals. It's very healthy. So I'm just gonna slightly sprinkle a little bit more of this Celtic sea salt on the salmon, and that's that. Then I will make my sauce. I've already put some olive oil spray in this pan because I'm going to start it on the stove. So in the meantime, let's make our sauce. I'm going to start with about 3 tablespoons of butter. And then I'm also going to put in there, turn my heat on. I'm also going to put probably a tablespoon of olive oil, let's just say. Maybe a little bit more later, we'll see. And start that off first. And while I'm doing this, the first thing I'm going to add, of course, in here is my my shallots. Jeremy likes to use onions. I like to use shallots. I just think they have such great flavor, kind of a combination between a garlic and an onion. And then we use some aromatic herbs also at the end while making the sauce. Very important. I love fresh herbs too. If you don't have them, you can of course use dried herbs. Just kind of a different flavor. Dry herbs are a little bit stronger. Okay, so here's my shallots. Now I've used, I think it was about 2 shallots. 1.5 or 2 shallots. I'm gonna put this in the butter. And then I'm gonna stir that around first. Now I like spicy food, so I like to put peppers in almost everything. So tonight I chopped up some Serrano peppers, and it makes everything easier when you have your mise en place, which is all your ingredients ready to go, so you don't have to explain or people don't have to watch you while you're cutting and everything. So if you have your mise en place, your dish comes out a lot faster, and I can do this in advance and then just put everything in there. So I've got my peppers, my Serrano peppers in there, and then I'm gonna put some, let's see. Next I'm gonna put some chives also that I've cut up in there. And then I cut up 2 little small tomatoes, not the babies, but like the mid-size, kind of like a Campari tomato. I cut those up already. That's starting to smell really good, very fragrant. This is so fast and easy. I mean, literally you start it on the stove, you pop it in the oven, you're in the oven for 10 minutes at 400, and then you're ready to eat dinner. Just with a salad or the vegetable. And of course, this piece is big enough that you can have 2 or 3 meals out of it. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and add my 2 tomatoes. They're not medium sized, they're a little smaller than medium sized tomatoes. So got those things. Okay. So I'm going to continue to let that kind of marinate together. You know, salmon can be so boring. I mean, God, I don't know if you're like me, but I eat salmon all the time because it's healthy and because I don't like mackerel. I'm not a big sardine fan, although I will kind of, you know, basically suffer through eating some sardines every once in a while. Anchovies, not a big anchovy fan. I pretty much eat everything, so it's unusual for me to say that I don't like something, but fatty fish, of the fatty fish, for me this is my go-to because the other ones are a little bit strong tasting. So, okay, so if you see now that my sauce is really looking good, now I'm gonna also put in there, I had a little bit of dill left over, and I love salmon and dill. I love a poached salmon with a beautiful dill sauce if you have a cold salmon. But I'm gonna add some dill in with this tonight with my little sauce, why not? And then this is cilantro. So I'm gonna put some cilantro in here. Now, there's a lot of cilantro. We love cilantro in this family. My mother hates it, but Jeremy and I like it. Now I'm gonna add a little bit more olive oil to top this off. And it's smelling so good in here. I wish you guys were here to smell it. It just smells wonderful. Oops, okay, now I'm gonna wear it. Now, I think I'm gonna do this. I think I'm gonna put a little bit of soy sauce. I like to use the expensive soy sauces. This one, no idea, I found it. I kind of watched this show, what is it? That's not Top Chef, it's called Chef's Table. And they went to Korea and found a place where they made all these different soy sauces in the traditional style. And so I bought some expensive soy sauce. And it's really good to cook with. I don't know what the name of it is, but if you read Korean, you can probably understand this. But it actually works really well. And I put soy sauce in my salad dressings. Great salad dressing is soy sauce and soybean oil, olive oil. It's delicious with a little bit of aromatics. With some, like I said, cilantro and everything. Salt and pepper. It makes a great, great salad dressing to put soy sauce in there. So, delicious. You don't always have to use vinegar. Okay, that tastes really good. So I'm gonna put that to the side. And now I'm gonna turn on my pan. And now I'm just going to start my salmon on the stove. Like I said, I already put some olive oil spray, but I'm going to put a little bit more because, you know, that skin tends to stick. And normally if I'm cooking at high temperatures, I always use coconut oil, but because we're doing salmon, I wanted to use the olive oil because it just imparts a different type of flavor. The flavor I'm looking for tonight is not South Pacific, it's more Mediterranean. So whenever this is ready, I'll put this skin side down on the plate. Y'all send me some messages and tell me what you're making for dinner because we cook in this household literally. I mean, I cook almost every night. I think the boys have moved in with us now. I think they're probably bored because we have to eat at home all the time because I like to cook. I'm enjoying having them here. But we do go out, you know, from time to time. So, okay, I put it in there. It's not quite hot enough yet, but I put it in there. And I'm gonna leave it there for just a few minutes. So I just flipped my salmon over, which I guess I could have started on the top instead of the bottom, but I wanted to flip it over because this is a cast iron skillet that is seasoned, and I wanted it to get some of that nice flavor from the skillet. But it's getting all those nice flavors in from the cast iron skillet and being on the stove for just a little bit. I cook on cast iron all the time. I love cast iron because my pans are seasoned. The only bad thing is they're heavy. So they're a little bit, some of them I have are really heavy. But I love to cook on cast iron just because everything tastes so good and it has all those seasonings from years and years of me using the cast iron. I make everything from fried rice in the cast iron to meats, to vegetables, to breakfast, wonderful breakfast biscuits, everything. I just start it on the stove usually and I put it in the oven and everything turns out delicious. So, okay, let's see. Not quite ready to turn it over. It smells very good. In fact, Isella is here helping with this video, and she goes, that smells so good. I've learned a lot about cooking today, as a matter of fact, because we made some fudge pie earlier with my mama, and now we're making healthy dinner. Because we've already eaten fudge cake and ice cream this afternoon. Oh my goodness. Mom's not a big salmon person either. She doesn't like salmon. My husband does not like salmon. But, like I said, I love it. It's got some great omegas. It's a good thing to eat for inflammation, for any kind of people that have arthritis or any type of inflammatory conditions. And that's another reason I eat it, because I also deal with some of those issues. Okay, so you know what? I'm going to go ahead and flip it. That looks nice. Okay. So now that I've flipped it, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this beautiful sauce that we made a few minutes ago on the top of it. You know, people say they don't like salmon, but you haven't had my salmon. My salmon's pretty good. You know, of course we do grilled, plain grilled salmon in this household too. Jeremy's kind of the grill master. I can grill, but trust me, he's much better on the grill than I am. Okay, so now that that has had its turn on the stove, it's time for me to put it into the oven. Okay, now I've got my oven on 400 and I'm going to leave it about 10 minutes or so. You don't want to cook it longer than that because you want to taste it and make sure it's still medium rare. We'll be right back. Sounds like there's a dog and a mom here to visit. So I finished my salmon in the oven. I started on the stove and this is it. And I put some extra cilantro on top of it. Now I tasted it, of course you can see where I kind of tasted it. I probably should have cooked it a little bit less than 10 minutes, probably maybe 7 or 8, but it's still good. Just depends on if you like it medium rare or medium. So I hope you enjoy this and I'll put the recipe up for you. Okay, have a good evening.